All right. Matt, the mortgage guy. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why I think the real estate market will continue to appreciate. It may or may not be a very popular thing to talk about. I know it's more popular to talk about a real estate crash, but I'm just going to talk about what I'm seeing, some indicators, some things that's going on with financial markets, with money, with inflation and whatnot, why I think that we'll continue to see home price appreciate, even though I hope, pray, wish for clients of mine for things to be more affordable. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening in the future. I'll get into that and my reasons why. Before I do, if you like straightforward content from a mortgage broker who's talking real estate, researching real estate, involved in real estate on a daily basis, consider subscribing to the channel, like, comment, do all the things. If you disagree with me, fine. Leave a comment about that. If you agree with me or if you have input on what you're seeing, please share with us so we can all learn together. But in today's video, I want to talk about something. I listened to a Meet Kevin video earlier. I'll link it down below. He's a small YouTuber. I'd like to give him a shout out. So Meet Kevin down in the comments. I'll leave a link to his video. He probably needs the help. He's got a small channel he's trying to grow so that he can be California governor, something like that. But in his video, he talked about some of the froth and some of all this money, right? That's in the system, in the economy, banks and institutions having a ton of money, and equating that to why the stock market continues to see this bull run. And for the same reasons why he's pointing to the stock market not correcting, not changing direction and going down, I think some of that applies to real estate. And sure, there's the supply and demand. I'm going to get into that and show you some information on household formations versus, how many listings we have available and that. But for the first point I want to drive home for people is there's so much money in the system. We've printed trillions of dollars, right? And not only do I see and hear that, but like Meet Kevin made the point of, whenever the market starts to see any sort of correction, and in his video, he's talking about the stock market, 3%, 4%, 5% correction, there is so much money in the system to come buy the dip that the market can't correct, right? Because it goes down 4 or 5% and you've got just like buckets and buckets of money ready to invest, trying to put their money someplace. He used the analogy, Tina, there is no alternative. And I see the same thing in real estate, in stocks, in businesses. An example I want to give you is I've got a client who works for a company that does M&A, mergers and acquisitions. He's telling me that they're, bidding time and time again on these businesses, being outbid by other businesses that are trying to buy businesses because there's so much money in the system. And I think that is going to translate to stocks, to businesses, to real estate, just the same. Whatever opinion you have on inflation, when I talk to business owners, their inputs, everything they buy to make their business run, everything that they need, whether they're a restaurant, whether they're a brewery, whatever type of business they are, if their inputs go up in cost, they're going to pass that on to the consumer. Things are going to get more expensive for the consumer. That's what's happened in housing with lumber costs, and that's not the only reason housing prices are going up. I'd like to show you a graph. I'd like to show you why in 2021, with 128 million households and 1.3 million listings available, it's continuing to put upward pressure on pricing when you compare it to, let's just say 15 years ago, 2006. There's 116 million households, 12 million less than we have today, and there's 3 times as much inventory on the market, 3.7 million. Might not be exactly 3 times more, but literally there's pert near 3 times more homes to buy and 12 million less households that are out there, as potential suitors, buyers, right? And so let me pull this over. I think what happens is I got to pull it over and, there we go. So I'm on there. This is household formations, right? And this is thanks to, what's the name of this company? Ratcha. Yardeni Research. All right. Thanks to them for putting this stuff together. I think it's really interesting. This is household formations. Obviously, people are having kids. More and more households are being formed. They've got to go somewhere. They've got to rent or they've got to buy. Look at this. Look at this right here. Is this wild? I saw this and I was like, holy moly. Is this 5 million like household formations back here in, 2019, 2020? No wonder we have a supply versus demand issue. We got less houses for sale. We got more people wanting to buy them. Sure, they're not all going to buy houses. Some of these people are going to rent, right? But it's crazy to see these spikes. The yearly change, like up 4 million in 2020. This could be an issue, right? More of them are buying, probably because rates were historically low in 2020. So we're forming more owner-occupied households than we are renters. Look at this, like millions of less renters in 2020. One last one I wanted to show you guys because I think it's interesting to me is this one. And this is total households as a percentage of working age population. Because I'm sure you would agree, not everybody is necessarily going to be able to buy, right? If households are being formed and they're, not of working age, then we don't count them into these people that are trying to buy houses, right? But you saw this number like wane, right? As total households, of the working age population decreased. And then bam, it like shot up these last 3 or 4 years. Could this have something to do with why there's so much demand and so little inventory? It's like most things. You can't point to one thing. You can't say there's more demand, so housing's gone up, right? Or you can't even just say it's more supply or less supply and more demand and prices gone up. There's like so many things that go into it. Interest rates being low and whatnot. But this is certainly part of the problem, right? I think it's really interesting, and so I don't want this to go on and on. But what I will say is, the housing market doesn't necessarily have to run out of steam because it's gone up for X number of years. That's like the story that I hear from so many people where they're like, you know what? It's gone up. Everything that goes up must come down. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that as, everything becomes more expensive, the business owners I talk to where their inputs are more expensive, they charge more to the, end consumer. End consumers are the same people that are saying, I'm not going back to work because I'm getting free money. So people, businesses desperate for workers are paying people more and more. We're going to pay you $22 an hour versus 18, but the sandwich you bought is now 12 versus 8. That's inflation. Asset prices go up. Real estate is an asset. When you see inflation, asset prices go up. And if you think there's affordability issue and rates are going to go up and that's going to cause a problem, I'm telling you right now that I feel like the Fed is going to keep a lid on interest rates longer than people expect. The end of this week in Jackson Hole, Jerome Powell, I think he speaks on Friday. It's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday meeting. He speaks on Friday. My hunch and my guess is that he can point to the Delta variant. He can point to uncertainty in Afghanistan, whatever they need to point to say, hey, listen, it's not quite the time. It's not quite the time to raise rates. Let's hold off. Let's continue to buy mortgage-backed securities. Yeah, we talked about it might be the end of this year, but maybe next year is going to be a better time to start tapering. I don't know. But what I do know is that there's so much froth and there's so much money in the system that similar to how the stock market is not able to see any sort of correction because there's so much money buying the dip. The same thing I think is happening in real estate. As soon as you see a few more listings, as soon as you see a price reduction or you see, something staying on the market for more than 26 days, and I'm like, all right, here we go. We're going to start to see some relief. There's so much money on the sidelines looking for somewhere to invest. Tina, like Meet Kevin said, there is no alternative. They got to put the money somewhere. And they say, you know what? Long-term hold in real estate is an asset class that it's always done well, especially versus inflation. Let's park it there. I don't know. Just my 2 cents. Let me know what you think below. Tell me if I'm an idiot. Tell me if you see something different in the future. I just wanted to share my thoughts on what I'm thinking and feeling and seeing. And I just think that, real estate might just continue to appreciate. Some people are going to be like, damn, I was waiting to buy the dip. We didn't see no dip. Until next time, we gonna see.